Hey there, this is Sam Varner in here, and it is Savings Sunday. And today we're going to be talking about spending by donating to financially efficient charities. So it's a little bit different from what we've been doing the past couple Sundays about saving money. Instead, we're going to be talking about making it so that the money you're putting towards your charities are going to what you think they're going to. And this kind of got spurred by of what's going on right now, the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Now, if for some reason this video is viewed much later and people don't know what I'm talking about, right now there's a big phenomenon going on the social medias of Facebook, of Twitter, and YouTube and everything of people pouring ice over their heads and passing it on as a way to bring up not only ALS awareness, but to get people to donate to it. Now, originally, you pour ice over your head to avoid paying $100 to ALS. But as the trend has kind of increased, people have been donating anyways, and ALS has more than doubled what they normally get in a year as a result. And as of recent, I've had a lot of friends on Facebook that are rebelling against doing the ice bucket challenge because they don't feel that that's a good way to market or show their support for the association, which is fine as long as they still believe in their cause and choose to donate anyways. I really don't care. I personally did it and I donated, and I also threw up a link on some of the more recent research results for it. So I in turn tried to make the community a little bit more aware of what's going on. But as a result, there were a lot of people that were actually concerned with the association just because they're not familiar with it. They don't know how their programming works. They don't know what percentage goes to them. And because there have been a lot of recent issues with other foundations and organizations or charitable organizations that don't actually do a lot of programming for the people they're meant to help in comparison to the costs to run the organization, I tried to do a little bit of digging myself, and what I found was actually a much bigger tool that's very helpful, and it's called charitynavigator.org. They themselves are a charitable organization. They operate free, but they provide this information for the public to show what percentage of your dollars in an organization are actually going to certain things. So as we know, every single organization does have administrative costs. They do have fundraising costs so that they can keep raising money, and any other kind of costs that are incurred with running some kind of nonprofit business. But even so, there should be a good percentage of whatever you're doing it needs to be put towards what actually the organization is supposed to do. Now, Charity Navigator recommends that if it's a good organization, if they're very financially dependent or they're actually doing the work that they intend to do, they're using at least 33% of the funds that they receive to go towards the people that they are intending to help. Now, a lot of you might think that's actually a very low percentage, but when you consider all of the overhead especially for large organizations, it does add up. And so that 33% is a bare minimum. But what I found from doing a little research on a couple other organizations, most of them actually do much better. So take a wild guess what the ALS Association's is. So in past years, they've done about 72.4% of the money that's coming over is going to the programs to help the people with ALS. And that's huge, especially because that means 72 to 73 cents of every dollar you're donating to them is going to go to the people that need the help. And what's even more incredible is that in past years, not including this year alone, they've only spent about 16 cents per dollar that they get in on fundraising efforts to get more money. And that's very efficient. So, and granted, they probably could do it in less, but after doing a little research on some of the other organizations out there, that's very low. And if you can do less than, I believe, 40 cents per dollar you're doing pretty good. So they're actually doing very well. But unfortunately, not all organizations are like that. Some of them have more overhead just because they're so massive. Some of them have large overhead because they're a small group and they're trying to get money off the ground. So what I would recommend is if you have some of your favorite charities, I would go to charitynavigator.org and take a look and see what their rating is. Some of them might not be. Some of them might not even get a star rating, which could be a bit of a concern for you. And look into what they have, that like what their breakdowns are, and take a look at what their percentage actually goes to them. Some of them might surprise you, and also keep in mind, use it as a starting point to look into charities, not as the end all be all. Obviously, if there's something that's glaringly worrisome, you want to dig into it a little bit more. But the better you can be informed about who you're donating to and what they're doing with the money that you're giving, the better you'll feel about what you're doing. Being ignorant is about what the organization does. They can tell you anything you want. I mean, yeah, they're doing work, but how much of what you're giving is actually helping them? You want to make sure you know that information up front. So I did look up a couple of them. So here's some that you can look up on your own to see what their breakdown is. So some of the common ones that I hear about all the time is Dana-Farber, the Cancer Survivors Fund, the American Cancer Society, Doctors Without Borders, Teachers Without Borders, the National Veteran Services Fund, Susan G. Komen for the Cure, UNICEF, and American Red Cross. And that last one's probably the largest funded one in the country. So, but take a look and see what you find, and you may be surprised to find that the charities that you're hearing about all the time that you think are doing really well might not be, or the ones that have a bad rap or just a standard like, oh, foundations aren't good, this one might not be, might actually be better than what you anticipated. So take a look, and if you're not already donating to charities that make you feel better about giving money, then I would definitely consider at least even just a small amount. As I said, $1 helps. That definitely, if you find a place that actually does a lot with a dollar in comparison, definitely give it a shot. That makes you feel better. It gives you a better quality of life because you know that you're not only are you making a difference in your daily life, you're making a difference in someone else's life. So hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love to get your feedback, and I'll talk to you on Thursday. Bye-bye.